Hi, everyone. I don't want this series to go by without talking about the lost tribes of Israel. There's a lot of different opinions and speculations and writings and you name it. There's so many different ideas about it that I just want to talk about it pretty briefly. These gemstones are representative of the tribes, and this is worn on the chest plate of the priest, the Levite priest. This first slide cracked me up. I could tell just by looking at it. I didn't need to look it up. This is the angel Moroni, but I would pronounce it more like something another way with the beginning five letters. But this looked really obvious to the LDS church, and they're very into it, the Lost Tribe stuff. So I thought I would start with that. Um, okay, so here I'm re-showing the map of the 12 tribes of Israel, but really when you count them, there's 13 tribes. And I don't know how many's lost. Is it 10 or all 12? I mean, some people say it's just from the northern section. Don't know. I mean, this is above my pay grade and maybe above the pay grade of all or most people. And here's from Jeremiah 30, just a quick rerun. I saved thee from afar. You've been in captivity. Yeah, they get scattered to the wind. Might not be the only and best verse, but that's what came to mind. And here are the 12 tribes in the book of Revelation. So I just have a couple thoughts on it. I did look into it a little bit. Um, History is so skewered that it's hard to really make sense of it. But one thing I kind of agree with when the Hebrew people were in captivity in Babylon, some of them stuck around, and it's like near Assyria on the map and Armenia, that area. And some of them headed north into Scythia in the Caucasus Mountains. And I read years ago, and I did kind of, buy into it or agree with it. History is so hard to discern. But here is what I had read about and can agree with is that there were Hebrew people, and I'm going to be specific to Dan, who settled in this area and they had converts to Judaism. And then they did a further migration all the way up into Europe. And see, I'm going to just speak a little bit more about Dan and why he might not be in the book of Revelation is because Dan was a bad boy. Now, his tribe was, um, land was on the Mediterranean coast, but there is a city of Dan further north at the base of Mount Hermon, and there was a lot of Baal worship. It was straight over from the city of Tyre. And I mean, there's like giant megaliths there. Who do you think lived there? The king of Tyre compared to Satan himself. Okay, and close to Mount Hermon is, if you read in the book of Enoch, this is where the bad boy angels descended to earth, and then you go back into Genesis 6 where they saw human women beautiful and mated, and you end up with the Nephilim and that. Okay, Dan liked hanging out around Mount Hermon and that extreme Baal worship, and it's nasty business. So anyway, it's quite possible Dan could be involved. with all of that. I do agree that there were converts to it that migrated into Europe. And what really makes it make sense is this scripture in the book of Revelation. And I'm just going to let you read that. I have no hard feelings toward the Jewish, or I'm going to call them Hebrew people, because Jewish comes from the word Judah. And this is not, we're not talking about the 12 tribes when you nail it down to that, or even Israel was supposed to be the northern 10 tribes. So I'll let you read that. And this could have been these converts that moved into Europe and formed like uh, the Red Shield group. Um, and I don't, I don't want to get thrown off for being, with hate speech. So just read about that. And I think they did land in Europe and financed a lot of things through or at least recent history. Okay, and now back to the different theories. This map here shows where this person would speculate the lost tribes are. And, just at a glance, well, there is Dan up kind of northeast of the Caspian Sea, but it's also a big chunk of Spain. I guess I wouldn't want to be from Spain in light of that, or live on the Danube, or be from Denmark. And then you get into the, it kind of ties into the British Israel theories. And, and I have no doubt they migrated up there, but was that their homeland? I am not going to go that far. I've looked at it up to a point, and I'm no expert on it, but, it's speculative. And yeah, there is strong roots up in there, but you know what? This is not even the whole world. And this person speculates a much wider range, more all over the world. The print's too fine to read, so it doesn't, it's speculative, in my opinion. This map shows the lost tribes, and this is including Japan, Afghanistan, and India, Nigeria, but not the rest of Africa. Okay. And United States. And they have the United States and they have Alaska colored in. Okay. That's not very specific, but that's, I guess they came from Africa, according to the red line. And next we have 10 of them returning to their homeland. I guess the other two are already there. And here we have the 12 tribes, and they're so-called like West Indies, are the tribe of Benjamin and that. Now I'm going to comment very briefly on America. Now, for the fun, of it, I looked up Heavener, Oklahoma. A long time ago, I talked about, someone was talking about finding Hebrew writing in Heavener. It's spelled like heaven with a ER at the end. And you look it up on Wikipedia and it's runes, which I associate with Vikings. And there was, talk about those lost cities in the Grand Canyon. And there's talk it's Hebrew and there's talk it's Egyptian. And there is absolutely, and what I have no way of knowing these things. I am, it's way above my pay grade. But here's my thoughts on America. They had Vikings from the way back file mining in northern Minnesota. They had something going on in Heavener, Oklahoma. There's something going on, I mean, all over the country, that they would have Egyptian ruins or Hebrew, whichever, in the Grand Canyon. Here's my thoughts on it. There has been a great deal of world travel for a very long time, and we are not told about it. Okay, in the Americas, if you go to the west, you have Asia. You go to the east, you have Caucasian, and then if you go southeast, you've got the black people. And in my opinion, America's been a melting pot for a very, very, very long time. I mean, you could see it in Native Americans. Some of them look Asian, some of them look black, some of them look white. And I don't need DNA to see that with my very eyes. So, sorry about that rant. But that said, these tribes could have traveled all over the world and be gathered by God. And now here's a map of, showing the Southwest as Moab. And, is it the new Moab? Because Moab's in the Middle East too. And here we have Israel as a southeast portion of the United States. Um, and I think that's about it, gang. But please stay tuned, because over the next couple videos, I want to talk about why this may be a moot point. It's very, very interesting, but it might not even matter. Okay, stay tuned and have a good day.